Ladies and gentlemen, it's time once again for a Social Sports Pad podcast.
Let's do it.
I am your host,
Woo!
Ricky. Alongside me, as always, is Ben
Yep.
and my brother, Jason the Cobra.
Cobra!
All right, and also with us tonight is Justin. So basically, what we are going to do tonight is we are going to cover Thursday night and the triple header for week 15 for Saturday. All right, week 15, 5 teams can clinch playoff spots. Those 5 teams are the San Francisco 49ers, the Minnesota Vikings, the Dallas Cowboys, the Kansas City Chiefs, and the Buffalo Bills. All right. So, first things first, we're going to talk about those. We're mainly going to cover the 49ers, the Vikings, and the Bills since they play between Thursday and Saturday. So, here's how we have it with that. San Francisco, they win the NFC West by beating the Seahawks on Thursday Night Football. Minnesota, they win the NFC North with a win against the Colts or a loss by the Lions against the Jets. And then Buffalo secures themselves a playoff spot by beating the Dolphins.
Dun, 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 dun.
All right, so we're going to cover those, and basically Dallas also gets a little bit of help from a Seattle loss. Well, we'll cover that when we cover the games on Sunday. All right. So, basically, what we're going to do is we're going to go through all the games, basically, almost like our little bold prediction episodes. I'm going to give the game, give the spread, and then Ben, you'll start us off and tell us who's going to win. Will they cover the spread and give me a bold prediction? All right, we'll do that for Seattle, San Francisco, Minnesota, and Indianapolis, Cleveland and Baltimore, and Buffalo and Miami. But as a little added wrinkle, I want you to give me the player that you think is going to do the most damage in fantasy of both teams. Not just, Christian McCaffrey's going to, set it off on Seattle or for the 49ers. And Geno Smith's going to do great for the Seattle Seahawks. No, I want the whole thing. I want you to tell me if Geno Smith is going to, light everything up more than anybody else or, things like that. All right? You guys all right with that?
Let's do it.
Yep.
All right. So, we are going to start Thursday night for the Amazon Prime game between the San Francisco 49ers and the Seattle Seahawks. San Francisco, they do clinch the NFC West by beating the Seattle Seahawks, and they have a 3.5 point favorite going into Seattle. So, Ben, you know the drill. Let's do it.
What a game this is going to be, man. San Francisco, Seattle. Oh, man. I'm excited. One of these teams is probably going to be gone and out of the playoffs, and it helps Washington's playoff chances and Giants' chances. So it's also those implications involved with this as well. So when I look at this, honestly, can Purdy still say pretty? I don't think Purdy still can say pretty. So you know what? I'm looking for him to be picked off at least 3 times against that very tough Seattle defense. It's going to be a hard-fought game. They're going to do good. They're going to be tight. That's what she said. But it's definitely going to be the Seattle defense show. That's who's going to light it up.
All right. Cobra, you got next.
My pick for this matchup is.
Wait. Hold up. I totally forgot. Ben,
Yo,
who is your primetime player?
primetime player? Let's see. Let me double check my Seahawks roster because it's going to be a Seahawks player.
Now, remember, it's fantasy-wise, so if it's a defensive player, you definitely just go defense. I mean, I know you mentioned that it's going to be the Seattle defense show. Are you going to say that the defense is going to be your holla at your boy primetime player pick?
That's where I'm leaning towards. Yes.
Okay. So yeah, we'll name you. Ben, you'll name the Seattle defense. Then, they will be They will be your primetime player candidate, sponsored by our affiliate Dubby Energy. Make sure you get follow our link. Get the starter bundle, which is a shaker and 2 flavor packets for it's listed at $14.99. But make sure you use our code SSPP10 to get 10% off your order. All right. So now, Cobra.
As I was saying before, you had to segue back to Ben.
Yeah, I totally forgot. My bad, bro.
It happens. It happens. It's cool. It's cool. But my pick is the 49ers. All right. Brock Purdy, who's going to be my fantasy football breakout player, but for San Francisco.
Is your boy?
That's my Hollywood boy. Because here's the thing. Forgot to add that Brock Purdy was Mr. Irrelevant, which I didn't even know he was Mr. Irrelevant. That probably gave him a little bit of chip on his shoulder. And he showed Tom Brady something. He showed the world something. I think Brock Purdy, Big Cock Brock, is definitely going to be the breakout player for 49ers as he throws for 350 yards. And for Seattle, though, the breakout player for them will be DK Metcalf.
Remember, I said one. Only one.
I thought you said for both teams.
Nope.
So Brock
the
Purdy.
Overall,
All
top
right.
dog.
So then,
Big Dick Nick.
Big
All right.
Cock Brock.
All right. So Justin.
He is
going.
going.
Did he leave?
Yeah.
All right.
Oh!
All right. He totally left to probably get some bulletproof coffee. Make sure you follow the link on the site to go ahead and get yourself some bulletproof coffee, or get you some gummies for sleep or energy or anything that makes you go. All right, so I will go ahead and I will make my prediction that, I am going to say it is going to be your San Francisco 49ers beating the Seattle Seahawks. Right now, the Seattle backfield is so banged up right now. They are one-dimensional pretty much. As evidenced, in the game last week against Carolina, they totally got their asses beat. Geno Smith looked very vulnerable because Seattle couldn't go off of play action. They couldn't, slow the game down to their pace. And they made some early mistakes that they could not get over. Against the San Francisco defense, you cannot do that, sir. They will make you pay, and they will make you pay dearly. They will have you pay the check and the tip. All right.
Definitely will say Seattle is definitely running on fumes as far as playoff chances are concerned.
I mean, especially if they lose today or if they lose tomorrow night.
Yep.
Yeah, it's just, to me, is just going to spell disaster. But then again, it's also what happens with a Pete Carroll team. They either are really strong with their defense and just their offense, okay, or their offense is great and their defense leaves something to be desired. Yeah. And they fade away late. Yeah. But 49ers, the defense is going to be my holla at your boy fantasy player of the game, because again, they're going to force Geno Smith into making some mistakes. They got Bosa back, and it's just going to be an all-day party. Do this all day.
We like the party. We
like the party. Anyway, so speaking of party, we're going to go to Minnesota as Jeff Saturday comes into town with his Indianapolis Colts.
Saturday.
Minnesota Vikings are favored by 4.5 points. So, Ben, go ahead. Give me what you got.
I see a Minnesota Vikings team that has been on a slump. That horn has not been going off in Minnesota lately. However, it is time to bounce back. Yeah, it may be Saturday for Jeff Saturday, but it's not going to be any normal Saturday. It's going to feel like it was a Sunday because it's going to slap him upside his face when Kirk Cousins and the Minnesota Vikings finally find their offense again. And they just demolish and make it look like it was yesteryear's grandma's leftover pies when, I'm not going to say any names, warm apple pie got demolished. So I'm going to say fantasy player of the game. Let's go with your boy. It's too obvious, though. Really?
You want to say Justin Jefferson, don't you?
I do.
Yeah, it's hard not to say Justin Jefferson, man.
It is.
Let's
go with Adam Thielen. He's going to have a breakout game. He's going to show up. Kirk Cousins is going to find him. He's going to give it 135, 2 touchdowns.
All right. You good?
I'm good.
All right, Cobra, what say you?
Well, what say me? Multiple factors are influencing my decision. Decision number 1. Jeff Saturday is nothing but a sniveling puppet for Jim Irsay. 2. This is a 1 o'clock game.
Oof.
And 3. The Minnesota Vikings, even though they lost to the hungry Lions, they are my pick and they are the superior team over the Indianapolis Glue Factory. Like, seriously, the Minnesota Vikings are a more complete team. Minnesota Vikings are a better team. It's also 1 o'clock. You know what time it is, and so does Kirk Cousins, as he is my breakout player of this game on fantasy.
Okay.
All right. So, as Cobra mentioned, Minnesota clinches the NFC North by beating the Colts.
Or did the Lions lose to the Jets? But that's later.
I mean, that is irrelevant.
Right.
You play the game of football to win.
Yeah.
All right. You do not play to lose or have a good time. You are a professional football athlete. You play the game to win, to make the playoffs.
Yeah.
All right.
And eventually the Super Bowl.
And playoffs? You kidding me?
We're talking about
which the Steelers will not make the Super Bowl.
No! I definitely see Minnesota Vikings absolutely dominating this game, stifling Jonathan Taylor. Matt Ryan is gonna throw like he's lost. But my fantasy guy is gonna be Dalvin Cook. I definitely see Minnesota taking the lead, going out to a huge lead, and then just coasting the rest of the way. Dalvin Cook will probably, in my opinion, possibly 150 and 2 scores. So, that would be, definitely nice for a lot of fantasy teams that are in the playoffs. All right. Next, we're going to go to Cleveland as the Cleveland Browns host the limping Baltimore Ravens.
I thought I could smell shit. We're in Cleveland.
All right.
Cleveland, right?
So, is this the week that Cleveland gets it all together with Deshaun Watson? Is this the weekend that Baltimore, does Baltimore have enough right now to cross the finish line against Cleveland? Cleveland is favored by 2.5. Ben, go ahead, take it away.
Baltimore is clipped. Their wings are clipped. They are not soaring right now. It's definitely feeling a little different in Baltimore. The atmosphere has changed. They may be 9-4, but they are not playing like a 9-4 team
But
at
they're
all.
not as healthy as 9-14 would indicate.
No, no, not at all. And the Browns, I mean, don't get me wrong, they're not a horrible team, even though their record suggests otherwise. It's just their offense has not been sparking. But also that has to do with, you just put in your so-called savior, the savior of everybody at quarterback, but he hasn't shown anything.
Debo?
I will put Brissett back in. But they're not going to do it. However, Baltimore is going to struggle against Cleveland's defense. It's going to be Cleveland's defense that steps it up, and it will be because of them that they win. Now, who's going to be the star of this game? It's definitely not going to be an offensive player at all. However, it will be a defensive player, depending on who plays, because there's a lot of questions marks going over here. I'm going to assume they're probably all going to play. I'm going to give it to Garrett. He's probably going to get 3 or 4 sacks in the game.
All right. Cobra.
Sadly, the Baltimore Ravens are too badly riddled with injury. And I definitely think that the Cleveland Brownstains are going to be playing spoiler here as they win with Jacoby Brissett.
Okay, so you're calling for a benching too?
I am calling for a benching because let's face it, Deshaun Cosby is too busy worrying about the happy ending and putting the roofies in the drinks of the ladies. And then enjoying the Jello pudding pop afterwards.
All right.
But yeah, definitely say that Deshaun Watson gets benched for Jacoby Brissett. Breakout player. Nick Half, and Nick Full Chubb.
Okay.
I'm going Nick Chubb as the breakout player.
Okay. So I am actually going to go against both of you. Deshaun Watson is going to be my fantasy player of the contest. Basically,
How much of that millions did he promise you?
How much of it? I mean, like seriously, he said that he would go and buy me a bunch of jerseys on Fanatics. No, he did not. There was no bribery or anything. But basically, Deshaun Watson, what the problem with him has been is just the simple fact that he hasn't been able to practice and build chemistry with his teammates for 12 weeks. All right, so of course he's gonna be rusty. The man has not played a snap of football in the regular season for
a year and a half.
27 games.
What has he been doing?
A year and a half.
All right, so yeah, of course there's gonna be problems there. Baltimore is just way too beat up right now. I mean, yeah, you could say probably J.K. Dobbins would be a fun little ad there. And yeah, Nick Chubb is also an obvious choice that you could totally go with. But I think that Deshaun Watson is at home going to try and prove that, hey, I am still a good quarterback. I am what they worth basically letting.
He wants to prove he's better than Mitch Trubisky, brother. That's what you're trying to say.
No.
Yes, the same draft. He's better than Mitch.
No. Okay. So I'm only speculating here.
Yeah.
Only based on what I've seen from reports and everything. I mean, that's not, a characterized report about Houston knowing. But with them trading to Cleveland, selling Deshaun Watson to Cleveland for what they got for him, for all that they did, you knew Cleveland knew. All right. Anybody who's not a fool
Yeah,
knows that Houston knew that
there was smoke.
Deshaun
There
Watson was
smoke.
messing around with massage therapists.
They knew there was smoke. Cleveland knew there was smoke.
Yeah, so they basically got what they could, on a bad bill of goods.
Yeah.
Right? You guys do see that.
Yes.
Okay?
Yeah.
So
We're not idiots.
Deshaun Watson, he also knows this. Yeah, basically, he's heard this shit for, again, a year and a half. All right? So he wants to shut everybody up. And what do you do to shut anybody up if you have a lot of bad press in the media? You do something good.
Yeah.
They do not talk shit on winners.
No.
All right?
No,
It's
no.
always when you lose that they start pulling that kind of stuff out. It's when you're not in the limelight. It's not when I mean, look at Chris Brown.
I don't want to. I don't want to get beaten up.
I don't either, but but no, Deshaun Watson, he is going to look to prove something.
Yeah.
And I see Cleveland winning. I see Cleveland winning big.
Cleveland.
And I see Deshaun Watson putting the pedal to the metal as hard as he can.
Oh, baby.
Because he wants to shut everybody up about massage therapists.
Yep.
And
All right, the final
And then
game.
the final game we're covering tonight, Saturday night's contest between the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins. Buffalo is favored at home by 7.5 points over the Miami Dolphins. There's a lot going on to look at in this game. Buffalo, right now, their offense is fledgling. Miami is a little bit hurt. Tyreek Hill was kind of limpy and getting his legs looked at during the Chargers game. Tua, he's been hurt quite a little bit this season, and he pretty much had a concussion the last time the Bills met with them.
Yeah.
So, and another thing, apparently there's like 7 inches of snow that's supposed to be in Buffalo during this contest.
All right.
So, Ben, what do you see?
I see a game that sounds like it's really fun to join. You want to go?
I mean, I would not spend $122 for the lowest price nosebleed tickets for that game, but I definitely know that
the
basically
tailgate scene will be fire.
Oh God, I'm not gonna lie. They will probably be tailgating starting Friday night in Buffalo. No, your Lowe's and Home Depots will not have any tables left standing after this tailgate. So
and we'll probably run out of ketchup and mustard. Thank you, Pinto Ron.
All right. So Ben, what's your picks?
My picks. Well, you see, Buffalo. Since they're gonna be in Buffalo, it's gonna be pretty cold out there. You guys should go to Fanatics and see if you can get some quick shipping because it's gonna be cold. Woo!
I mean, get you some hoodies, some starter jackets.
Even this nice helmet trapper featuring the Buffalo Bills.
Yep, definitely.
They even have stylish hoodies with Tommy Hilfiger on the front. If you want a real winner, you can buy that with a winner on the front.
Well, I mean, definitely. And right now they're having their clearance sale up to 70% off select items. Orders over $59. So basically get yourself a jersey, for up to 70% off. Order it today and you'll get it by Christmas Eve. That way you can wrap it and put it underneath the tree. Make sure to use code 59SHIP and click on our link to take you to Fanatics to get yourself some good last minute gifts. All right. Carry on. Sorry. Had to plug.
All right. But I definitely see Buffalo coming out of this game winning. They're going to cement their playoff spot. And let's see who's going to be the player to look out for. I love this roster. So many.
All right.
it's not just one person that sticks out. You know, let's go on defense, man. Let's get some let's get some Tremaine Edmonds. He's gonna show up. He's gonna show everybody why he's on that team. He's gonna make some good plays. He's gonna get at least 10 tackles total by himself.
All right, nice. Cobra, what do you see?
There's a rumbling. It's coming for the Bills Mafia. Buffalo Bills are winning against the Miami Dolphins in a revenge game. The game of the night in the snow. And my pick for fantasy player of the night, well, I should be a surprise. James Cook.
Okay.
I see what's cooking.
Yeah, he's cooking more than Russell Wilson right now.
Yeah.
But no, so
That's
me,
right.
I'm definitely going with the Bills over the Dolphins. I think they're going to cover the spread. Waddle got hurt a couple weeks ago.
And he won.
Tyreek Hill, he suffered slight injury, so
And
they're
Tua
kind
looks
of
off. Tua looks off.
fair. Yeah. I mean, some of those
He's looked
throws.
off the past few weeks.
Oh, I was gonna say, this on Monday night's game, he was like sailing it and everything like that. Something's wrong. So
It's definitely
and then the weather indicator. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how they attack it. You might see a lot more Mostert. They also lost Jeff Wilson, so there's like it's the Raheem Mostert show, and that literally is it. So if Miami were to win, it would be all on Raheem Mostert. But my fantasy performer from the Buffalo Bills is going to be the obvious Josh Allen. I totally see him carrying the team on his back like he's been known to do, and with the way the weather is, it's more than likely going to play to him a little bit. Just to let it fly and connect with Gabe Davis, and Dawson Knox had a decent game last week. So that'll be a good way to see Buffalo in the right direction as they clinch playoff berth. All right. So that is it for our show. It's a nice quick one. We will post another one to cover the fantasy implications of each of the Sunday games this week later on. And then we'll do our usual bold predictions in a separate show. So from us at the Social Sports Bet Podcast, this has been our show. Thank you for listening and being spending time with us. I am your host, Ricky. Thank you again to Ben and Jason the Cobra. We are 3 weeks away.
Fight!
All right. And, teams are about to make or break. What are those wonderful words said by the guys from MXC?
Don't get eliminated!
All right. And from us to you, good night, good week, and always good season.